Happy Thursday. Happy essential fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals week. I hope you guys are enjoying this month in the Wellness Hub called The Foundations. I just think it's really important that we understand like the baseline of our health. I know that it can get really kind of confusing when you see so many things on social media and you hear people talking about this and you hear people talking about this. What I love about learning the foundations is it actually always comes back to things that we can control with our food and our lifestyle. Yes, I love supplementation. Think it's great. I think there's lots of need for it in different circumstances. However, what I know for sure is if you do not have the foundations down, nothing good is going to happen. So if you don't have your nutrition down, if you don't have intentional exercise and movement figured out, and you're not really learning how to manage your stress, it's actually not going to matter how many supplements your naturopath or your doctor or you buy at Shoppers Drug Mart. Doesn't matter how many supplements you buy and take, they're actually not going to work because your foundations aren't balanced. So that's why I wanted to do that this month, is talk about the foundations. They will always, everything that I've shared up until now is in the files section of this group. So just click files at the top of the app and you will see the digestion that I've already talked about, the blood sugar I've already talked about, and those are actually two that are super key. If those are off, nothing else will work. And then as I keep going throughout this month, so we've got this week, which is fatty acids and minerals and vitamins. And then next week, I'm going to talk about stress, sleep, and movement. Okay, so that'll be next week. That's actually one of my favorite ones. Okay, so let's talk about essential fatty acids. The word essential is there for a reason. It's essential. We need it to thrive. So I know that you guys know omega-3, right? We all talk about omega-3, those fatty acids, those fish oils, the maybe you already take this supplement. I mean, that is one supplement that I take because I know that I'm not getting enough omega-3 in my diet. And here's why. For our body to be balanced, we actually need a balance of omega-3 and omega-6. Now, omega-6 is found in all of the foods that we're buying at the grocery store. All of the processed foods, all of that kind of stuff is full of omega-6. So all of us, no matter what, we get lots of omega-6. But what happens is we're not getting as much omega-3. So it throws the balance off. And then that's how we get into the situations that we're in, right? Low energy, not sleeping at night, our skin is not doing what we want it to do, like all the normal symptoms that we all talk about. It's often because there's that imbalance. The other thing about fat, okay, so a lot of us in our day have done low fat diet, low fat food, low fat craze, low fat everything. I for sure have been that person in the past. We thought that's what we were supposed to be doing. Unfortunately, if we do not have enough fat in our bodies, we will not even make hormones. So something that was kind of like a light bulb moment for me when I was in school, I had no idea that cholesterol is really what makes hormones. So I'm not going to go into the whole cholesterol conversation, but what I want you to know is there's been a lot of research done on cholesterol. Cholesterol is not what is causing many health problems. In fact, there's this number, this marker that they used to look at that was often high if you were getting a lot of really good fat in your diet. And doctors were thinking, oh, your cholesterol's high, this is bad. And it turns out that they had been looking at the wrong marker. It was the wrong marker. So typically, it was another marker they needed to look at, and that was what determined a situation with cholesterol. So we need to stop fearing fat. Here's some other reasons why. Vitamins A, E, D, and K will not be absorbed in our body unless they are taken with fat. So even if you're not even worrying about supplements, I'm not even talking about the supplements. I'm talking about all these beautiful vitamins and minerals that are in our foods. If you are not taking them with a fat, so let's take a carrot, for example, tons of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and all the things in a carrot. But if you're just steaming them and putting some pepper on them, or what would I have done years ago? Put them with some Dijon mustard and try and like choke them down. It was a waste. It was a total waste of my time because there was no fat with that vegetable. I was not absorbing. My body would not absorb the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, nothing from that carrot. There needed to be fat in it. So when you are stir frying up those veggies and sauteing up your veggies or whatever, make sure you are sauteing them in grass-fed butter or olive oil or coconut oil or avocado oil, some of those good oils. That's a conversation for another month in the Wellness Hub, the bad oil situation, because that's another reason why our omega-6 is so out of balance, because we're using these bad oils. But I could talk about that for half an hour. I'm not gonna. So there's another reason why we have to stop fearing fat and making sure that we are getting enough fat. Now, I am going to go against one of our nutrition programs right now. So get ready for it. I love Portion Fix. I love it. I think the principles of that program are frigging awesome. They teach you portion control. That is what I always go back to, those containers, to teach me again and again and again my portions. If you are sitting in plan A, if you've done your calculations and you have picked plan A, you need to add more fat. You need to add another blue container, another teaspoon, and another orange. I'm begging you. I've been begging. There's many of us that are begging the company to switch that up. Why they won't, I don't know. I digress. But as far as hormones and balance and being able to actually use the minerals and vitamins that you're eating, you think you're doing a really good job having that salad, but if there's no good fat with it, you're not getting the vitamins and minerals, okay? So we need to make sure we're doing that. Omega-3, where can you get that? Avocados, nuts, wild caught salmon, tuna, lots of fish. I really try and have fish at home once a week. So my daughter likes salmon, so I really want to make sure that right now, she's 11, her hormones are going to start kicking in and become active and starting to move around. And I want to make sure that she's got some good essential fatty acids in her diet all the time. It's so important. The other thing about fat is like the slow burning fuel inside our body. So carbohydrates come in and give us this burst of energy, right? But fats are this slow burning fuel that keeps the fire going for those 5 hours between the meals, ideally, right? So you have breakfast and you want to have some healthy fat with it. So you're satiated. It makes your food taste good. Like, I will be the first to admit that the first time I put some butter, some grass-fed butter on my beautiful homemade bread, I was like, oh my God, now I know why people eat butter all the time. Like, tell me if you're the same, right? Like, if you lived in the low fat craze, it's easy to be nervous of fat. But we need to push away from that, and we need to remember that our hormones will only be made with fat. So there's not even worry about balancing them. We can't even make them if we don't have good fats coming into our system. And if we don't have fats in our system, we're not going to be able to absorb those vitamins that we want so badly. Okay, so then that moves us to the conversation of like vitamins and minerals. So minerals, we can't make them ourselves. Our body cannot produce minerals. We have to get them from food. So I think there's 103 known minerals, and there's 18 that are needed for good health that we actually need. And you can get them from food, you can get them from supplementation. There's lots of different ways that you can get them. However, the thing is, minerals is a game of cofactors. And what I mean by that is, for our body to be able to absorb these minerals And I'm going to use calcium as an example because we are all very like calcium literate, right? Where a lot of us are taking calcium supplementation, and we're making sure, like, how many of you grew up saying drink your milk because you need your calcium, right? Well, that's actually not actually true. Most of us, in fact, like 99% of society is getting enough calcium. There's calcium in so many things that you're eating. Tons of the foods that we're eating actually have calcium in it. The problem is we don't have the cofactors, so our body will absorb the calcium. So, for an example, I wrote this down, or did I? Maybe I didn't. To be able to absorb calcium, you need to have the right amount of vitamin D in your body. Your vitamin D works with the calcium and increases that absorption so it can actually go into the bones. Your hormones need to be balanced to be able to use the calcium that's coming in. You have to be properly hydrated to bring in the calcium. You have to have the proper amount of EFAs, essential fatty acids, because essential fatty acids is actually the river that the calcium travels along in our body to get to the places it needs to go. Your digestion needs to be working properly. A lot of my women are struggling with gut problems. So I have this wellness hub. People join me here for, Beachbody stuff, body stuff, but I also take one-on-one clients now and do nutritional assessments. And what that means is they answer like 300 really specific questions, and they fill out a food and mood journal for me. And I'm able, through some comprehensive tools that I use, plus the knowledge that I have, determine where their deficiencies and imbalances are. Most of the women that I work with are struggling with something with blood sugar and their gut health. And when you're struggling with your gut health, that means you are actually not absorbing the stuff that you're either taking through supplementation or you're eating. So you might be like this is the classic, right? I'm doing everything right. Why don't I have any energy? I'm doing everything right. Why am I gaining fat around the middle? I'm doing everything right. Why am I not losing any weight? Well, sometimes you are doing everything right from your standpoint that you can see, but unfortunately, all these right things aren't working properly because of a root cause. And the root cause is often a digestion problem. If you're struggling metabolizing fat, a lot of women are struggling because their gut is so it's not functioning properly. There's too many bad bugs, not enough good bugs. Their liver is kind of congested with some old toxins from like artificial sweetener. This is me, I'm describing myself. My liver right now is a little bit congested because it has a lot of old stuff going on. If you've got too much stress in your body isn't going to be able to metabolize properly. It's not going to be able to absorb properly. So all of a sudden you have a calcium issue, but it's not actually calcium that you don't have enough of. It's the vitamin D, it's the digestion, it's the hydration. So the point of learning the foundations is realizing that it's those baseline things that we have to get correct before we go do all these other things, right? So the essential fatty acids, and making sure that you're listen to the digestion model, and you listen to digestion file. Like, go look at the file about digestion, go look at the file about blood sugar. And if you're thinking, oh, maybe that's something that's a little off for me, start working there, and then all these other things will fall into place. There's always a root cause to why you're not feeling the way your body was designed to feel. Our bodies were designed to feel incredible every day. They truthfully were. Our bodies are designed to deal with the proper amount of stress. Our bodies were designed to thrive and wake up with energy and wind down needing sleep. Like, our bodies are designed that way. So if we're not feeling that way, if we're not at a healthy weight, if our skin is breaking out in hives or acne, or you've got dry stuff on your elbows, or you're lethargic, you can't sleep, like all of those things, there's a root cause to that. So instead of like masking it with something, we need to figure out what the root cause is and work away slowly at that. And that is the key to sustainable health. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that was interesting. I saw some of you on. I would love to see some comments and questions. I haven't really seen many questions, so I don't even know if I'm just talking to myself here, which is totally fine. I don't mind talking about this stuff. But please share your thoughts, share your questions, and I will be always here to answer them. All right, you guys. So next week, we're going to talk about stress, sleep, and movement, which are the three things that I love talking about the most. And typically, one of the things that anyone who's a woman is dealing with, and we really need to figure out how to manage that stuff. Anyways, bye guys.